Hello everyone, my name is Garrett Boyd and I am a nursing student at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. My lovely assistant helping me today is my mother, Kay Boyd. Today I would like to address our senior citizens on the importance of choosing the correct face mask, how to properly wear a face mask, and how to safely remove a face mask. Also, I would love to inform you all about the many important reasons to wear a mask, especially during a pandemic like the current one that we are facing with COVID-19. I hope by the time that I finish speaking with you today, you will want to spread the information with your friends and family and be able to make both them and yourselves safer, especially during these difficult times. Before you wear a mask, it is vitally important that you know the correct way to choose a mask.
Does it matter what type of mask I wear?
Yes, ma'am, it does. Before you wear a mask, let's take a minute and see how to choose a mask that is right for you. So we have two types of mask here that are recommended by the CDC. This is a cloth mask. It has 2 layers of breathable, washable material. So when you're through with this, you can throw it in the washing machine. Right here I have a hamper, that's what I'm going to use for that. So you also have disposable mask. In this case, this is a surgical mask. When you're through with this mask, you do not wash it. It's not to be reused either. You just dispose of it. You throw it away in a trash can. Okay? A mask should have 2 or more layers of washable, breathable fabric, according to the CDC, as we said before, and the mask should completely cover your nose and your mouth. So before I ever picked up this mask, I've sanitized my hands before we even started this video. Before I even picked up this mask, I would sanitize my hands. And you always do this with at least 60% by volume alcohol. And when you're sanitizing your hands with hand sanitizer, always make sure that you sanitize your hands until all of it is dry and gone off your hands. And don't do this by flailing your hands around or waving your hands around, because that's actually a way to get them more dirty by particles in the air. So this will kill all the germs very effectively if we do this. And there you go, my hands are dry. So now, this mask should completely cover your nose and your mouth. So, with many masks, you'll notice that there is a metallic band at the nose, and you can use it to properly adhere it to your face. And with these disposable masks, they stretch out a little bit, so they cover up a little easier than some of the cloth masks, depending on what your preference is. The mask should also fit snugly against the sides of your face and should not have any gaps. You can tell it doesn't have any gaps on the sides of my face, no gaps here, no gaps under my chin. If you have a big beard like I normally have, in this time, we need to trim it down a little bit to be able to have masks that properly fit, like I've done in this occasion. Okay, all of this information is available to everyone online at cdc.gov or cdc.gov. It's also available at your local health department.
Why do I need to wear a mask?
Great question. If you are in a situation where you cannot socially distance, then wearing a mask is very important. You could be infected with COVID-19 and not have any symptoms at all. Wearing a mask is the most effective way to protect ourselves and others. Do you know the correct way to wear a mask?
Well, I think so, but maybe you should tell me.
Sure thing. There are a few steps you need to follow to properly wear a mask. All right, before I take this mask off, I'm going to hand sanitize again. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to ask my mother some questions. So, as far as social distancing goes, I know we're in a tight space and, you live with us, so we don't necessarily have to go by these protocols when we're not outside of the home. But do you know how many feet apart you should stand from people to be properly social distance when you're in public?
6 feet.
Good, fantastic. So 6 feet, she's absolutely correct. So we would not be that far apart right now. We'd actually be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, almost. We were close. So, wonderful. Okay, hands completely dry. So then I take this off. Again, disposable, not to be reused. Toss it in the bin. All right. And then I go by the CDC steps for this. I would do hand hygiene again because, again, I've just touched a dirty mask. Even if it was by the ears, I still touched the dirty mask. So I do my hand hygiene again. Again, make sure you're getting like your nail beds. Make sure you're getting your wrist. If you're a guy like me that wears a watch all the time, make sure you get up under that. Also, just for skin protection in general, probably a good idea to be lotioning your hands at night if you're like me and you're using this hand sanitizer all the time, because it will really dry your hands out over time. But we got to do it. The lotion really does help to kind of cut down some of that dryness. You don't want cracked skin. Okay, so next you put it over your nose and mouth to make sure it fits securely over your chin. So I'm going to pick this up by the straps and the straps alone. Then I'm going to fit it over that. Put it over your nose. This one doesn't. This one also has a band, but lots of these cloth masks don't. Mask over my chin. We make sure it's snugly to our cheeks. And when you're in public, make sure you're always avoiding touching your face or any surface. Like I know a lot of you probably see people walking around holding cell phones and things like that. You don't want to touch your cell phone, touch something, touch your cell phone, touch your face. Just avoid touching your face in general if you can help it. Okay, let's make sure that we can breathe now that we finally have this mask on. Easy.
Well, that was pretty easy, I guess.
Yeah, I thought so too. All right, we have to make certain we remove our mask properly as well.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, step 1. First, we stretch out the ear loops. What was wrong about what I just did? I have to wash my hands again. I've gone through a day of walking around, touching stuff, wearing this mask, people breathing on my hands, you know. So I gotta wash my hands again. So I do this again. So personally, Mom, how many elderly individuals, 65 and up, do you know that have been affected by COVID so far in your personal circles?
Probably at least 15.
At least 15.
And probably around 5 or 6 that have passed away.
Yeah. Rough statistics. Very, very serious stuff. And I know some of those were at your workplace, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she does mandatory working as well. So she has to work had to work this whole time during the crisis because she is an accountant for the prison. Okay, so when we're taking this off, I've washed my hands completely. First, we stretch out the ear loops and remove it. Only touch the ear loops. So next, we fold the corners together, still just touching the ear loops. All the bacteria, all the virus particles, anything that would have been launched the other day is on the front of this mask. So then I place my mask in the washing machine, in this case again, dirty clothes bin, and you just wash it. All right. Finally, do not touch your eyes, nose, or mouth when you remove the mask, and immediately wash your hands again. So I'm going to sanitize my hands again. All right. Adults 65 and older account for 16% of the U.S. population. However, 80%, or 8 out of 10 people that are COVID-19 deaths in the United States have been senior citizens. That's why it's especially important to me to follow all of these safety guidelines, because I'm not just protecting myself with this mask, but far more importantly, I'm protecting those around me and people that are most vulnerable to this virus, like my wonderful mother here, who was so sweet to help me with this. Thank you all so much for your time, and please stay safe.